So how are you feeling first day back out there?
Felt good to be back out there with the guys. It was a long off season, just hanging out, in the training room, trying to get healthy. So it was nice it was refreshing.
What was the process like from surgery, January or so, to kind of working your way back?
So I got my surgery on Valentine's Day. So I got out of Valentine's Day, and that was something. And it was long. I didn't think it was going to be as tough as it was, but I'm happy to be where I'm at right now.
That process of going through everything you said was tough, longer than you thought. I mean, what did you learn about yourself during that time? How do you feel like you're coming back to the field, maybe a new and improved Jordan Phillips in any way?
Yeah, I'd say it's new. I would say this is just from all the rehab and working out that I had to do. I'd probably say this is the best shape I've been in. And so that's a cool part about it, I guess. And I get just more of the relationships I built with the guys that I was working out with and the training staff and stuff like that.
You see some new faces like Poona.
Yeah.
Obviously here, Leonard. Just kind of your interaction with those guys, what they bring to this defense.
Yeah. So both of them, watched them from afar, just meeting them this year. But Flo, he's a 10 sack guy every year, so he's going to bring a lot of dominance to our defense, and it's going to be fun to see how I can work off of him and make some plays with him. And Poona surprised me. You see him, you see his film, and then when you see it live, you're like, oh wow, yeah. Like, at some point you're like, how is everybody going to work into this? But it's going to be a beautiful thing when it does.
Jordan, you were talking about building those relationships in the training room. You've been gone probably quite a bit over the last several months. What has that been like? How have you guys been able to build your relationship together?
Well, I'll say last year was, when you first get in the room with somebody, you get on the field with them and you think you know a lot about somebody, but then once you get and you see how hard he's working, or you see his struggles, and he's Superman, so he doesn't want everybody to see it. But when you really see him in there grinding and like you said, figuring out who he is once again, going through his process, it's cool to see, especially when you're a future Hall of Famer, and seeing what it really takes to bounce back and compete at the highest level, not just a high level. He's got to, how do I say that without putting any expectations on him? He just does what he does, and gets back to what he does.
Watching his process, he's been through it before, rehabbing back from a big injury. Did that change any of your process while you were with him in the training room, getting to see how he kind of rehabs and goes through everything?
I wouldn't say it really changed my process. It's just more of everybody has low days, and just keeping each other accountable to staying there working and pushing each other to get better every day, and just keeping a positive one of us keeping a positive mindset on what we're doing.
Jordan, you said look at it like, say, Poona, you mentioned how everybody would fit in. Do you look at that differently than maybe you did when you first came into the league? Because it can get, especially for young guys coming in, trying to figure out where they fit. Do you just at some point just block that out and just focus on
the chips are gonna lie the way they do, but I feel like this is what they, the Eagles last year, they had, I don't know, how was it, 5 10 sack guys, and everybody on their D-line last year was I don't know, I want to say first round guy almost. So it works. That's what the 49ers do every year. They're loaded. So it's just the way the league's moving, and it's a beautiful thing once the guys can be a family and get to work together and just understand how each other play off each other. And it's,
I know you haven't been on the field, but you've been in the meeting rooms. What's it been like having Sean now as the defensive play caller in those defensive meeting rooms, and on top of him being head coach?
It's a different dynamic for sure, because Sean's his attention to detail, not saying it wasn't like that before, it's on another level. And I would say there's more of a sense of urgency, and that's not a bad thing. When I say it wasn't like that, it's just different. But guys like it, I like it, and he's when he says he puts on his head coaching hat and his DC hat, there's a difference. You can actually see it, and it's not just lip service when he says that. So that's cool to see.
What's the biggest difference?
About what he does?
What's the biggest difference between when he wears those hats, like when he's got the DC hat?
I'm not going to get into details, but it's a little bit more colorful when he's in when he's in the defensive room.
You mentioned the rehab process maybe being a little more difficult difficult than you expected. What makes you say that?
This is only my second surgery, and my last one was in 2013, and it was a lot different then. Just the resources I had, I guess, and everything, it was just like you could almost take advantage of it and not work hard doing it, because you have everybody catering to you and doing what you need to do, or to do what you need to do. So it's just like you got to find yourself and really grind into it without just kind of oozing and just saying, I'll get back when I'm back.
How's your mindset compare this year from last, coming back to the team, kind of trying to find what you had here the first time around? You found it to some extent, obviously dealt with injuries last year. How is your mindset entering this camp and get back on the field changed?
Just no expectations. Just let it play out. I still have my chip. I still have my edge, but I just want to go out there and make it through a season and put up some numbers and help. No, you go ahead. No, you're fine.
What do you see in Greg Rousseau to this point?
Greg is going to be a top 5 guy in the league. He's put on the weight. He's finding out who he is as a person, as a man, and the older you get, you just see it more, and his confidence is through the roof. Like the stuff he does is I don't know, he's a grown man. Like, you just don't see it. You see, like, I guess Mario Williams was here. You can see that in Greg. He's very versatile. He'll go inside and go outside. And he's fast, so I think we're going to see an improved Greg Rousseau from last year, and I'm pretty sure he had 8 sacks last year. So, yeah.
What's this last 10 days been like as you've been kind of standing and watching all of that happen and assessing what's happening on the defensive line? Have you gone through a training camp like this?
No, it's been different. It's been definitely a different dynamic because Coach he wants like you said, listen, you can't be involved too much, but you can coach. So he kind of put me in a coaching role all the way through OTA. So I've been out there coaching guys and figuring that out, and it's a weird dynamic because I'm not a coach, but that's what they wanted me to do. So it's just a weird dynamic, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it, but I'm glad to be a player again.
Being a coach through OTAs and through the beginning of training camp, you've kind of gotten a look at this defensive line, the depth that you guys have this season. What do you think about the capability of this group?
Like I said earlier, that's how you got to build teams nowadays. You got to have 10 guys that can come in at any point and just be loaded. You can't have somebody when you have guys like Pat Mahomes running around, and you got to have an elite 10 guys that can go out there at any second and make plays, and I feel like that's what we have in our room.
Being in that coaching role, can you take anything that maybe you saw looking from the sidelines and apply it to your game now?
Yeah, I mean, if I don't, I'm gonna look kind of dumb. So I gotta make sure I'm really on my P's and Q's now, and make sure I'm out there doing the right things. And it was fun seeing it from a different perspective and seeing, like, because I know I get pissed off while I'm out there, like, what is he talking about? But now you see it, So it's like, okay, now I know what I need to do and what they're looking at and stuff. So it helps in that way.